Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Sammy Leggett here representing TeamJVS, here to give you guys another anime review, and I'm talking about the Quintessential Quintuplets, the movie. Now, I'm put a tag into this. I did look at the first and second season. I had forgotten that I had reviewed both back to back. I thought I'd individually review them, but I know I went through the whole entire thing. I binged the whole entire thing. I did go and do a refresher. I went back and looked at the last episode of the first season, looked at the last episode of the second season. And in the end of the second season, I kind of was like, who is he going to pick? Like, what's going on? Like, they kind of met at this weird, unconventional place. And it was kind of like, okay, Miku definitely has like a good run for this, but it seems as though we still don't know who was the person that he kissed. We know who the person he met first, but then there's stipulations to that. And then other than that, it was kind of like everybody is apparently in love with Fuutaro. But Fuutaro internally is in love with somebody else. And that is where I thought we were going to get a third season. But this movie is about 2 hours and 30 minutes long, maybe 2 hours and 20, give or take. And I think that what they could have done, they could have made like a little mini series, like made it roughly like 6 episodes or 7 episodes, and that been the third season and ended that way. But I think they wanted to have a grand like closeout. I'm behind this because that's what I want for Attack on Titan and a couple other animes as well. That, okay, because normally animes are not over an hour and 30 minutes, let alone 2 hours and change. So I think that this was a clear, decision. Animation is great. Like the styles for each one of the characters look good. The set designs, the setup, like all of it looked beautiful, and even down to the wedding. Because yes, this is it. Like, this is closing the door. I did not read the manga. Some of you guys are manga readers. I don't like to spoil where things are gonna go. If I read a manga and I just happen to go through it and then I watch anime, then that's it. But if I start watching anime I'm involved in, I don't want to spoil myself. So I didn't know where this is gonna end. I didn't know who he's gonna pick. And I'm not gonna reveal it in this review, just to let you guys know. But I do think that the way that they handled each one of the characters got a real flushed out ending where I didn't think they could. And I think if the movie had been any shorter, I don't think that everybody would have gotten their closure that they needed. Some of it, when they go to a little bit like 5 years later, kind of felt like it was a little rushed, and some of it kind of felt like it was like, eh. But everything that was kind of like present day up until, the 5-year jump, I think that they gave a really good stance on closure. And matter of fact, if they had just ended it right there, it would have been fine, But I think that the way that they cornered out everybody's progression of who they are, what they know about themselves, like the ending of the second season wouldn't have done service to how this movie does service to all the progressive characters. And again, I haven't even talked about all the different characters. Just so anybody that hasn't seen the show or seen the animes or don't even know what this is, Fuutaro is a studious person. He is a tutor to these quintuplets. One day, the first season, the dad hires him to, basically tutor them without him knowing. He'd already met them in the school, and come to find out they all are failing, and he doesn't know how he's going to be able to get them to where they need to go. But he also didn't know that their past and their present intertwines with him, and they bring him to a place that he needs to be. Now, each one of the other quintuplets, it is, hopefully I get this right. I apologize if I don't. Ichika, Yushiba, Nino, Ichiki, and Miku. Yes, I got it right. Each one of them all have their own individual stuff going on. For instance, like Ichika is an amazing actress. Miku is kind of the hermit, but kind of comes into her own. Yushiba is all over the place. She's kind of like, she off first glance, if you look at her in the first season, you think she's the little sister, but she's not. She's got a lot of things going on for her. Ichika, it actually looks like the older sister, but really, she's not. And she doesn't have it all together, even though on paper it looks like she does. And then you got Nino, who is the bad girl. You might as well call her Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls. Like she's got a little attitude about her. But in this movie specifically, each one of these girls, they pull out all the stops. I think that they all make a good case to being the one to be chosen. And I think the thing about this film, it's not even about who, because that's the thing that I was really torn about. Like, once Fuutaro makes the decision, I was kind of like, am I going to be satisfied with the decision? It's really not about whether I'm satisfied with it. It's not even about him making the decision who he picks, which I'm not going to say that. Each one of them individually, at their core, not only are going to be fine, but they make a good case to be amazing people, amazing women. And also, even deeper than that, they go into certain things about their past, things that they didn't reveal in the series, you know, about their mother and about how she had them, about how they had to struggle. Even Fuutaro and what he wanted and what he needs, and like with his dad, and like all the small little nuggets that you wanted from both seasons are in this film. The question is, it still goes back to, what is your preference? Should they have just made a third season, made it short, made it 7 episodes or 6 episodes, close it out as a miniseries, and that is its own box set? Or are you cool with them ending it on the way that it did with this film? I think that's I think that's subjective. That's up for interpretation. For me, I think it worked. And even more than that, it's kind of like with the decision that he made and how that was handled, it took me for a loop, because I was kind of like, okay. I think there's one question that I don't think they necessarily answered, but I think it's implied that he already knows. But other than that, like, on paper, it shouldn't be that I'm okay with how this worked out, but it is. Like, and I think it's the execution of the way that it was scripted and the way that it was handled, and also the voice acting cast. I only looked at the dubs. I haven't seen the sub, but the Japanese voice actors have already been amazing, and it's the same exact Japanese voice actors from the original one. But the dub is always the question of how that is gonna fill out. And I'm gonna say, like, the voice actors are amazing, dude. They're doing an amazing job with showing and progressing emotion, because that's a lot. That's hard to do. And they invoke all the different ranges of emotions, to the point that this moment I was like, man, I'm not gonna get teared up here. I'm not doing it. And also, surprising characters have an emotional reaction as well. I would rest this at 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I think it was really good. I think it complements both 2 seasons, and I think it rounds out everything almost near perfect. Talk to you guys later. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Peace, guys.